This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with the acclaimed singer, songwriter, producer, the one and only EYE.ELLE. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at EYE.ELLE's incredible talent.
I tried to tell you she would leave your side. You didn't wanna believe me, so you tried to run and hide. You were caught, you were caught, you were caught red-handed when she called me to ask if we were intimate. You were caught, you were caught, you were caught red-handed. And now I've been made aware of it. What kind of person does that make me?
Well, hello, EYE.ELLE. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
EYE.ELLE, I'm doing so much better now that we are finally talking. And also, your talent's incredible. I want you to talk to me about where you grew up, and was there like one moment in particular where you were on stage and you were like, I'm pretty good?
Ooh, I like this question. Okay, so first off, I just want to say thank you so much for having me. This has like been such a cool experience to work with you all, and I'm really, really excited to like continue this conversation. For sure. Let's see. To answer your question, a moment when I was on stage where I thought I could do this.
Like, was there like a musical production, or was it like someone grabbed you to go up on stage and you sang and
Oh,
people
okay.
applauded
I
and you
got
were
you. I
go, go,
got you.
go?
All right. So, you asked me where I grew up. I
Yeah,
live in Baltimore, Maryland. So I grew up here. I've been here
beautiful.
my whole life, just about. And I will actually bring up the very first time I was on stage, was well, the first time I was on stage not playing an instrument. I'll say that because I started out in bands and playing trumpet and saxophone and all kinds of stuff like that. But I was this is something that a lot of people don't know actually. My first like production show wise was Hairspray. And for those of you who don't know,
I love.
Hairspray takes place in Baltimore. So that was pretty cool. I actually got snatched up by the choral director at the time. He was new to the school that year. This was going to be his first musical. And he sees me. I was him and the other like band directors and guitar teacher, they all shared an office. I was in there talking to my band director about something completely unrelated, and he sees me. He goes, "Hey, can you dance and sing?" And I'm like, "Oh, uh, yeah, kind of." I didn't know what the preface was. I'm like, "Yeah, I dance places and I like to sing." And he's like, "Okay, there's auditions tomorrow. Come." I'm like, "Okay."
And so
So
you were
that's
in the
literally
show?
so I got in, yes, and he wanted me to play Little Inez actually because I'm short, and I didn't get that role. I wound up getting her understudy, which was cool, but because of it being Hairspray, I got a lot of stage time. I got to like dance in like every number pretty much and sing in every number, and it was like my first experience with theater, but also my first experience with like performing like for people, to see, and like they're there for that necessarily. It's not like a band thing where they're just like listening to music and taking it in and giving you a thumbs up at the end. So that was really, really cool. Definitely a eye-opening experience for sure.
Well, what a beautiful show too. I mean, not only is that score so infectious with that Broadway pop set slash, 60s flair, but it's a show that
Yeah.
I think in why I think it's being revived in London and, it's being revived right now on a national tour is because I think the message of Hairspray of that time in the 60s, I guess unfortunately, the dis-ease amongst, races and different people of different socioeconomic backgrounds can be parlayed into, a lot of the unfortunate divide that our
hmm
country and world is still in.
Yeah, it's like a microcosm of everything that's going on, and it's really important, like you said. I'm glad I actually didn't know about the revival, so it's really cool to hear about now. But yeah, for that to be my first show and thinking back on it now, it's like really crazy. But also it's a I think it's a good start. I think it was a really great start
Oh
for
my
sure.
God, what an amazing show. I'm so jealous. It's one of my favorite shows. And you would have been a great Lil Inez, but I wasn't directing it. But if I were, we know that how that would have went. But nothing against your
Wouldn't.
amazing teachers who may be watching. But listen, IL, I also want to know, when did you realize, okay, I can sing, but I also want to create my own art, because you're such a beautiful poet, and I love the fact that you were able to combine your love of writing and poetry, it seems to me, in your
Hmm.
beautiful voice. Was there one moment when you were like, I'm just going to do it, or were you always doing it naturally, the songwriting?
Yeah. So with songwriting, everything as a whole kind of happened in phases. So I was always writing. Writing was a really great coping mechanism for me when it came to mental health, and when it came to understanding myself and my own thought processes. So writing definitely helped there. But then it became a matter of like, I'm a musical person. I'm musically inclined. I'm always thinking of melodies and rhythms and things of that nature. So it was kind of like a very easy transition to go from just writing to writing things that was going to have a rhythm, and writing things that were going to have a little bit more weight to them. So that's kind of how that came about. But then when it came to the actual musical side of things, um like I said, I grew up playing instruments, and I always had that side of me. And I just didn't necessarily have the knowledge, or I definitely had the creativity, but I didn't have the know-how in terms of how to combine those two worlds. And I think it wasn't until I started, I want to say it was my senior year of high school, I took a piano class, and that really like helped me see and understand how to translate the things that were happening in my head to on paper, and something that I could put out into the world at least a little bit. I learned producing later, but like I said, everything kind of happened in phases to the point where I was actually able to grow as I went on, and grow
I
as I
love that,
went.
IL. I think also I'm thinking about all the young ILs out there who, who might be struggling with how they get involved in the music world. And I think you're a
Mm,
beautiful example of someone who has not only done the work on themselves as an artist, who just kind of naturally went along with how, they were feeling, and just doing one thing at a time as the feeling came. But also,
mhm.
and please correct me if I'm wrong, IL, you seem like a person that has done the work on themselves, and someone who has chosen to live unapologetically and authentically,
Mhm.
despite what family, friends, the world, their world might think about how they live and what they want to do. And I just think you're a beautiful inspiration. And please tell me if I'm overstepping my boundaries. I'm just going with
Oh
my
my
gut here.
gosh. Wow. Well, you have no idea. Like, that is so special to hear. Thank you so much. I am speechless. I'm so happy that that translated as
Oh my
well,
God.
because
5 million. Look at me. You have me
absolutely.
tearing. I mean, 5 million%, my love. 5 million
Dude, that's
percent.
that's amazing. Like, you're not wrong though. You're not wrong at all.
I
Absolutely.
feel it.
Every bit of obstacle, or um hardship, or even like happiness, like every little piece of that kind of like grew on itself to the point where every song I'm telling a story, every piece of work that I'm doing, even my features. Like, I've done a couple of features, and though those are not necessarily always written by me specifically, I try to add that little piece of me to the point where it's still coming from me a little bit, so that you can still feel the IL in that feature. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Because yeah, every song is definitely definitely a moment for
Well,
sure.
listen, I could speak with you forever, IL. I want to let the audience know, for more on the incredible IL, you can read more about her right below this video. IL You're incredibly inspiring. You have such an amazing career ahead of you. Thank
Thank you.
goodness. Thank
Thank
goodness you
you.
stepped into your light and power. And again, I just want to think about the ILs who are out there watching the beauty of what it is to make the choice every day, to step
Mm,
into one's power. IL, you're a
mm,
perfect
yes.
example of that.
Wow. Wow. My heart is so warm. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Listen, IL, I'm from New York. I say it like it is. And you're a
So
very special talent. And Phoenix is, I can speak on behalf of everyone, so grateful that you're on board, because
thank
to
you.
have someone who's just at the precipice of breaking through, it's
Yeah.
incredibly exciting.
Thank you. Wow. You talking about you crying. I'm gonna cry. Thank you. I'm excited too. And honestly, there's more to come. Just bring it on. 2022. Let's go.